No, she's got ulcers, so it messes up her.
Right, we're live.
She said we are live now. Hello, thanks for joining us again with Countertop Epoxy. We're just coming back after lunch. We're going to do some work on these tables. On the wood grain table, we're going to do a beautiful wood grain, and then on the other one, we're either going to do soapstone or white marble. Do you know which one you're going to do, Levi? Soapstone or white marble on the big other one. On the chiseled edge.
I think white marble? What do you think?
I think that'd be pretty.
Because I've done a lot of soapstone chiseled edge.
Okay.
I haven't done a white marble chiseled edge. And then we'll need white time coat, or edge coat. Yeah, so we'll press this, hold that side, come over here, we'll pour this, we'll that dry as soon as this is done.
I'm going to come around and stand by your
We
Rachel.
also, I think we should put a little more
Hey Instagram, how are you? Welcome back after lunch. Just going to get started today. We're going to go ahead and put that prime coat on those edges, on that chiseled edge table, and get that prepped and ready. We're going to lay some more plastic down next to this live edge table. We'll kind of get you worked around here so you can see what's going on. There we go. And they're just using those block sanders in order to sand that. You can get those at Home Depot, Lowe's, etc. And they're not trying to sand it off, they're just trying to sand it to get any rough edges off and get that ready to be primed. I feel like I need 2 Red Bulls after lunch. Does anybody else get tired after they eat? It means I'm eating the wrong thing, but I did eat something that was pretty light today, so that's good news. Do you want help with that plastic, Dom? Yeah. Okay. Rachel, you want to give me a hand here?
What's that?
We're going to get dirty. Not really, okay. Just a little bit. Do you want to go, let me see. Yeah, just, he said on the edge of this. Will you just hold that side down so I can just pull? What? Just throw it. Nasty. Alright, yeah. No, it's too short. Let's cut it in half and then we can just use it. Is it your ulcers? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was straight up.
Yum. Let's cut this in half so that it's long enough to lay across the floor. We don't need a lot of extra coverage, just a little bit, so hopefully that will give us exactly what we need. Pull you back this way so you can see. It's not very interesting, but we are just laying that back down on the floor. Miss Jamie is our lovely model today. If y'all don't know Jamie, she's our new in-house artist. She's a rock star. Oh, perfect. You're the best. Yeah. Sorry. Might be a little big. Yeah, we've got it out somewhere. We were using it yesterday. Okay, thank you. Just getting everything prepped, you guys. I appreciate your patience with this. We should be able to start getting next for these tables or start doing prime coats. So If you have any questions, go ahead and post them up in the comments on Instagram or Facebook, and we'll get those answered. Sorry, I'm sure it's really weird too. I'm trying to be a good host.
Guys have any questions?
These guys in class are like, who are they're like, we have questions. Super glad y'all are joining us again. Again, this is our samples class. So people have taken the beginner and advanced classes, and now they're doing the sample class. We do require.
So they can go ahead and start doing that after they're done.
Okay, perfect. We do require that you take a beginner class before you take a samples class.
Maybe on one end or the other.
And yeah, we'll just kind of move these in here. She's gonna grab the roller so we can put this edge coat on there. Let me just check that that camera's in the right spot. You can see all of Betty right now. Ooh, Betty. Yep, she's gonna grab us one. That's good. Yes. Yes. Let me just bring you over here so that you can kind of see. I'll try to be Rachel and adjust that camera. And anyone in the class, just so that you know, this is our viewing area right here. So if we could just avoid here.
Put your back in it.
Exactly. You can do it. Don't put your back into it. All right. Do you know that song? Do you know what I'm talking about? All right.
Yep.
Cool, cool, cool. Do I need to stir this first?
No.
No? Okay. All right. I'm just going to do what Levi did yesterday.
Just gonna go that far out.
Go ahead and pour some on there for you.
And then we're gonna have someone go with a chip brush and kind of dab into the spots. He can roll on most of it, but sure that it gets to every little crevice in the
She's saying that we're going to go ahead and take a chip brush and we're going to roll it into all of those edges on the side of the table where we had that gypsum plaster of Paris mixture, and then that way we can make sure that it's on there completely. Oh. All right, thanks guys. Thanks for joining in. We're just gonna go ahead and do this edge coat. Just kind of looking and seeing who we got on here today. I told Betty and she's still. And again, we're just taking that roller, we're going across the top and a little bit on the sides, and then we're taking that chip brush and really wiping it in those sides to make sure that we've got it completely covered. Then we're gonna let that dry 10 minutes or so, maybe a little bit longer, and then we're gonna give it a light sand on any high spots, and then we're gonna do it a second time. And that's pretty standard for that edge coat. When you buy our epoxy kits, they do come with an edge coat, a base coat, and some colors, depending on the design. So if they don't need a base coat, then they won't, etc. But they've got them all prepped for you so that you can get everything that you need. And we'll just kind of look here. I don't know if I've told you guys, but Betty's my favorite. And she's doing phenomenal.
That's the difference we noticed. The hard side, it's made differently. It's a lot like the Louvel
Pretty sure I'm getting sympathy sick from you. Alright. And just doing that same thing. If you joined us before lunch, we did do some copper patina samples, but we are going to redo those after lunch just so that we can make sure that everyone here does understand how that copper patina goes. We also put a clear coat on our large casting table, and that went phenomenally well. We used our Art Resin Nouveau for that, and it turned out like glass. It's going to be rock hard in 24 hours, and it's such an incredible product. And now we're going to go ahead and do these chiseled edge and the wood grain on the live edge table. So I think we're going to do white marble on the chiseled edge and then the wood grain. And I'm super excited for you guys to see the wood grain. It is something that we've kind of been working on and formulating here at Countertop Epoxy. And we've shown a few of our classes, and so we're super pumped to be able to show you guys all the details today. You can watch our process videos on our Instagram, Countertop Epoxy. And this will just be like the full shebang. So if you just kind of stay with us here as we're getting through this, we can get that for you. You can check out these classes on countertopepoxy.com under classes. This one again is that samples class. We also offer a beginner and advanced once a month. We do require that you have the beginner class before you do these sample classes, just so that you understand epoxy before we start showing you how to do all these really intricate designs and craziness. This is our first samples class. We're super excited to offer this for you guys, and we will be doing this pretty frequently, so if you want to go check those out on countertopepoxy.com under classes, you can see when our next dates are and go ahead and get signed up. Those classes do fill up really fast for the beginner and advanced, so the sooner you get in, the better to secure your spot. Again, with that price, you're going to go ahead and pay that price, and then when you come to class and complete the class, you will get all of that price back in the product of your choosing, and then you also, oh, except for the sample class?
Yeah, we pay to ship their stuff back to them. That cost goes to.
Okay, so for the beginner and advanced classes, then you get an additional 25% off past that credit. And then for the sample classes, you do pay for the sample classes, and then we use that money to ship your samples back to you. So they're going to go ahead and cut this chiseled edge table down after this class, and then we're going to ship them pieces of this along with all of their samples that they've created in class. So that's pretty cool.
Did we? Is that what you're saying?
Can you?
So you're gonna cover it with epoxy. You're not gonna be able to see it at all.
Except what we're talking about is that the mud is so similar to the color of this.
We have
that
3 different base colors, so we have this gray one, that white one, and then the dark gray. Like a gun.
So they're asking if we can color that gypsum plaster of Paris, and we're saying that, sorry, it's getting real out over there. But basically what Miss Leah right there is saying is that, oops, we have 3 different edge coats. There's going to be a white, a light gray, and, sorry, what was that last color of edge coat? White, light gray, and dark gray, gunpowder gray. And so you can tint your edges with that when you're doing your edge coat, and then that will help when you go to pour your epoxy. If there's any thinner edges, that's what you'll see as opposed to just bare wood or gypsum or plaster of Paris.
I'm sure you could.
I have not asked him, but I don't think it would be a problem or stop.
Do you guys see this chiseled edge on here? It's my favorite ever.
So did you know that,
No.
oh, okay. These, if you want to make it easier, those sort of.
Oh, that's what it does?
Yeah,
Oh.
so this turns the camera this way.
Okay.
This makes it go up and down.
Ew.
Yeah.
And then I just lock it.
And
Is
then
it
lock it when you want to put it in
this way or this way?
wherever it gets tighter, yeah.
Okay, perfect. And do I need to lock this too? Or this is fine, it won't move, right? Typically?
Unless someone bumps it, then
Okay.
it's gonna move.
I'll keep an eye on it and start elbowing people if they
Yeah.
get in the way. If you didn't get a chance to join us yesterday, that's when we did that chiseled edge on there. We mixed 50-50 gypsum and plaster of Paris with water. And then we placed that on the table. And then you just wait 24 hours for that to completely dry before you start putting on your edge coat and mixing your epoxy and putting it on. I think we're just waiting for the man, the legend, Mr. Levi, to come down and help us get started with that next step. So thanks for your patience here. If y'all have any questions, go ahead and put them in the comments and we can get them answered for you.
We're doing white. Do white marble? Yeah, white marble. Just because I always do, so. Did you guys kind of stumble in there a little bit with a brush? Awesome. That's all I ever do. Thank you guys for being so gracious to me, for being such a pathetic bug.
Levi's feeling a little under the weather. He's just thanking them for being patient with him.
A little.
He's got a man cold. No, I'm just kidding. I'm pretty sure he has like the flu.
I have the flu. I have influenza A.
Influenza A. Aw.
And I laid on a floor last night and slept for about 45 minutes on a bathroom floor.
Yikes. He's got influenza WA. If you didn't get, no, I'm just kidding. Influenza A. That's rough stuff.
I'm just admiring that you're here at all.
I know.
If I don't do it, I can't do it. So. All right, that's that. I think that's the old group. sprayed everything onto that table and prepping for this table. Did we get this plastic extended? Yeah.
Yes. We're going to do that white marble table first.
On this end, somebody else has to stay there.
They're just going to move it. Excuse my cough. They're going to move it over just a little bit. Just to make sure that we have enough plastic. Sorry. I found like a bump in the floor. Imagine that. People come through and pour samples and stuff gets dropped on the floor and then it like bumps up. So. Just adjusting tables here. Hi! Welcome, you guys. We're getting ready to pour this white marble table. Pretty excited. We usually do black marble. We usually do black marble or soapstone, so I'm super excited to see this white marble table. It's really cool how he puts these veins on there and makes it work for such a large surface.
And it's detected that it's too hot, so it's trying to cool it down in there. Because if you stick your head up in the damn cross space, it is hot. So it's trying to cool it back off. So we're going to there on the table. So, which is fine. So just pre-time.
He's explaining that the casting table that we just poured the clear on, there's no way to adjust that temperature in there. It's blowing cold air on our table. And again, temperature is the most important thing when it comes to epoxy. So that ambient temperature of the room, the air blowing on it, is going to make it cure slower.
Excessive, to say the least. And then we're doing quite a pattern. We're going to work it a lot, which will push a lot of our product off. We're going to probably lose 20% of our product in addition to whatever just flows off. So the ends, where the way we're going to be scraping the wood grain in it, we're going to lose more.
Oh, I apologize for doing the wood grain first. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
So technically 32. If you said 32 gallons should do this, right? So we might mix 3 just to be safe side, and so we're not stressed at all. Did you cut the knife? Okay, cool. Did you show them how you did it?
I actually already have one that we normally do.
That's perfect. All we do is we just take scissors and cut these knives. If you
He's
guys want to
explaining with
start
this wood grain table that we're going to use about 3 gallons of epoxy just so that we have enough, and then we're going to be doing accents and pulling through, and so a lot of it's going to fall off the table. We just want to make sure that it's thick enough on there at the end to be able to self-level and be a beautiful table. So we're going to use 3 gallons, which is a little bit in excess, and then he's also explaining how he takes like a trowel and then he cuts notches in to make his wood grain.
I have these right here. What? I was just saying that these countertop was what you guys samples.
What color are we doing the wood grain?
We're going to do a silver base with gold, blue, brown, and maybe pearl, I think.
Okay. Looks like we're doing a silver base with gold, blue, brown, and pearl. Faux result. Green.
You'll pour your hand into that and pump it out and really let it drain.
All right, let's go ahead and take a look at, oh, let me move this whole thing. See, I want to move that one camera, but then Instagram is still staring at an empty table. So, whoop, just kidding.
So can we do a half a gallon of
All right. We're mixing on that. We are using our Nouveau today to do this. It's our art resin. It has a long cooking time. It's made without isobenzyl alcohol. It's our new product that we have. It's the safest one on the market. We're super excited and proud of our Nouveau. And so we've been using it on everything lately and pushing, seeing exactly what it can do all the way across. We're absolutely in love with it. For how safe it is, you're never going to find a product. It's absolutely incredible. Thick, just like that, all faux result products that you love. Part A and Part B are the same consistency-ish, like close.
You said 3 gallons.
Yeah, so pour an A and a B, a full A and a B, and then pour like approximately half.
We're just trying to figure out this 3 gallons. Sometimes it's tricky to explain exactly what we need for the class.
Yeah, exactly. No, pour them second actually, and the reason being, he just asked a really good question. Do I pour the halves
He
first
asked,
or
do I
second?
pour the halves
Measure
first or
X is
second?
very accurate on higher volume mixes. They're very inaccurate on lower volume mixes. So
He said that the buckets are very accurate on higher volume mixes and worse on lower volume mixes. So pour the full container first of the 1 gallon and 1 gallon, and then when we were doing half containers in order to get the 3 gallons total, that we can use the measurements from then on. And then there were various dirty jokes.
that's mostly with our premium and standard.
Now's a really great time if you have questions as far as mixing epoxy, if you have questions on like that, there we go. Are you doing a wood grain texture on the top or just a wood grain look underneath with smooth top finish? If I textured on top, how long would you have to wait to do the texture? So the way that we're doing this one summer is a little bit different. Earlier today we did the wall epoxy and we did our wood grain tool with that. With this we're going to do our Nouveau. We're going to pour a sheet, like a layer on our table, and we're going to be using our tool that we made with our trowel, and we're going to be scraping that wood grain pattern into that. And then at the end it will be just a fine sheet, like solid on the top, and then tomorrow we'll just sand it and release a little bit more of those, like uncover a little bit more of those wood grain accents that you're looking for, and then it'll be good to go. It's just a full table. So it is done differently. I've got a tickle in my throat now. I don't like.
That's your next t-shirt.
I was just trying to make people throw up on Facebook, I guess. So I just explained that we're doing a different wood grain pattern, because I think she was talking about the. If you wanted to do your the wood grain pattern that we did earlier, that one does come with a textured top. You know, depending on how you do it, and then you could clear coat it again, and then you would have a smooth top over that. We've done with a sample on the wall that turned out really cool.
Yeah. Now you can't measure really because you poured some, right? So yeah, you wouldn't be able to.
Row. Sometimes when you have a plan and multiple people, it gets a little.
So you just guessing a half gallon in there?
Oh, she's doing the full thing.
Oh, she's doing a full. Oh, right.
So according to the graduations, you could still calculate how much you poured into this, right?
No, because he pulls.
I wouldn't expect him to be accurate enough on there.
That's all important. Right, we got 2 gallons in there, so we should have 256 ounces plus whatever you put in there.
They're just figuring out math here, and apparently it's hard.
Yeah, it's real hard. This is what I've been wanting to kind of put Rizzle take off with, because I think that there's some shit over this.
It's never going to be 100%
I don't know.
accurate.
There's certain things that I love, and I see customers' response, and that's why I do it more. Because customers love it, and this is one of them. So I'm hoping this is something that people will start learning how to do those. So.
We today they went to send me to get a dog feeding dish to paint over top of it, and I convinced them to let me cast the whole thing and cut it
Oh,
and make
really?
a whole dish. Yeah.
That's cool.
I'm probably gonna make it all
Yeah, and
girly.
guys, don't worry about exactly. Just do like 2 lines up with one, 2 lines up with the other. Because we're just going a little bit excess for waste. Thank you, sir. We're just trying to
have one
account
running
that we're going to
around.
have some waste with a little. So don't stress it.
I might. Can I have another water?
Go ahead, right up to here with one.
Just throw these.
Thank you. You're the best, Tom.
Well, that is ice water.
Getting that measured out exactly. Again, when you're doing resin, you want to make sure that you're doing equal parts of part A and part B.
Like so. Were you gonna order kits for us to make our own molds?
I can. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
It just needs to be something that happens, so because that's something that I think if we cast like dirty pours into, it's like some stupid shit. People, it could be the new Tom Cruise and we
Yeah. Would you just take that? Yeah, we'll figure it out.
cutting boards too.
Oh, you know what? Yeah. We just need to order that.
Yeah.
Or like access to somehow where we can order stuff like that. Like we talked about the other day.
You need to if you know you're gonna do that. Just go talk to him.
Okay.
We'll just get it taken
But we
care
do have to leave it in the office and organized because I can tell you the amount of money you would shit your pants if it's how we spend on fucking crap that never even gets used half the time.
Yeah.
I bet he's like 40 grand a year that we don't use.
That just sits up there? Yeah, that makes
Or
sense.
might not even show up because we don't even know we ordered it. Maybe never checked tracking and nobody told us they didn't ship.
Like the kits that you said, because you said you ordered those silicone kits and we
They still
doesn't know.
weeks ago.
He told somebody to order them and we don't know if we ever ordered them or if we never got them or what.
Yeah. Just getting that last little bit in here. Guys, be patient with us and then we're gonna start mixing.
I think she already answered that one.
Can I see that trowel? Maybe I'll just show them that while we're just kind of waiting. So this would be the trowel that we're gonna use. I'm gonna try to.
You showed on
Oh.
Instagram mostly.
How about not?
Leah, go out a little bit
No,
more.
I know. Just grab me a brand new.
Leah, will you go out just a little bit more?
Right there. That way you're in both.
Perfect. Nope,
More
sorry.
towards the Instagram feed. There you go.
Awesome. All right, this trowel that we're using, we did go ahead and take like a. Did we just use a box cutter or scissors?
Scissors.
Hold on. Sorry, I'm gonna have you back up because it's too much if it's too many people. So we just take a box cutter or scissors and we cut those notches in there. And what that's gonna do is allow us to drag those wood grains in there and make it look really realistic. And so you can't really buy that anywhere. You just make it out of a trowel.
He used those scissors that he's holding.
Okay, perfect.
I'm such an impatient person.
We're so close.
I'll show you. I'll show you. And
Yeah.
if you drug that stamp thing through this thick of a countertop product, it would just smear all over you when you do what it is. It'll be real evident when you see it.
All right, he's gonna go ahead and cut that for you.
This is a very priceless trowel. The more uneven you do this, the better. Don't be too organized.
It does look really dark on Facebook, Levi. Is there any way that we can do this maybe over this table just so that it's really, sorry, they can't see your face. He's like giving you dirty looks, but it's my fault.
Instagram can see it.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that they could
Really
see.
dark. I'm way too dark.
It was a dark trowel up against your black shirt. I'm trying to help you guys
I
out.
could
Do you
pull
see?
my shirt up and it would be light enough. We might lose the few viewers we have, but
Wow. Let's keep our clothes on. I don't even know if you heard him when he just said that. He said he could pull his shirt up and then we would lose all the viewers that we have.
and I also said we'd lose viewers, but
Yes.
I'm not the guy to take my shirt off.
So he said to you guys. Just kidding.
Yeah, I'm not
Just kidding.
responsible for what I do after 8 o'clock
Hashtag nightlife.
in the morning.
So again, again, he's just cutting notches in that trowel as even as possible. No, as uneven as possible across. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, uneven's fine. Some
Okay.
wide, some narrow. Because you're just trying to make a random wood grain.
He said some wide, some narrow. You're just trying
When
to
you
make that random wood grain.
Yeah, when you see the pattern we cut, this will make sense to you.
He said when you see the pattern that we cut, this will make sense to you. I feel like I'm your parrot, Levi, because I just have to repeat everything that you say.
Saying what I say, 'cause I don't think.
I just make you PG.
You shouldn't.
I shouldn't make you PG? I have been saying the SH word a little bit, which seems unnecessary if you just do it out of nowhere. Just getting that thoroughly mixed. We're going to go ahead and mix that for at least 3 minutes. Stir on the sides. Just getting all of that uncombined product off the sides and the bottom, and then we're going to switch containers and we're going to drill again for a few more minutes. Checking our temperature. What temp are we going to pour this out at, Levi?
Probably 90.
90? Perfect.
You know what? No, I'm at 100 with this one.
Go 100?
Yeah, go 100.
Okay. So we're going to wait until 100 degrees. The reason why we do that is to make it thicker. That way it doesn't just pour right off of our table. We do want this to be a thicker application because he will be dragging this several 100,000 gazillion times down this table. And so when that happens, we want to make sure that there's still a product on the table.
As soon as you switch buckets, we'll do the same exact. We'll pour 2 new kits and the remainder of the 2 half kits back into that A bucket.
We're going to reuse that A bucket. So as soon as they're finished stick mixing and pour it into the next container, they're going to reuse that container. You can always reuse your A as long as it's not too stiff in there. On the end of the drill is going to be a paddle. I can show you one. This is a smaller version of it, of the one that we're using. Sorry, let me just put this way back here so that you guys can see it. You can get these at Lowe's or Home Depot. It's a Helix paint mixer. Any sort of paddle will do, and you just attach that right to your drill.
The reason we choose plastic instead of metal is because metal usually scrapes the sides of the container and peels little curly cues off into the bucket into your mix, and plastic won't. At least it won't scrape little pieces off your bucket.
Okay, he's saying that the reason why we use plastic is that metal can scrape off the sides of your bucket and you can get little impurities in there of plastic, and the plastic ones won't do that. So learn something new every day, guys. Thank you for answering. They're just going to use that stick to scrape the sides and the bottom to make sure that any unmixed product gets combined.
I really like your shirt, by the way. That's the best shirt here. That's awesome.
I do too. I wish it.
I really like that. That's a badass flag.
No, not to me. It's Ross.
I'm a big fan of that. Yep.
Okay.
I have a granddaughter that has shoes. That's Ross shoes.
That's cute.
Oh, really? How much silver do we have? Oh, right on.
I have another little bag.
Okay. Yeah, if we need it, we might.
If you guys have any additional questions, you can pop them up on Instagram or Facebook and we'll get those answered for you. You can find all of our products at countertopepoxy.com underneath colors or kits. The kits are going to be for your countertops, so if you're doing white marble, black marble, soapstone, and we have a plethora of others if you want to go check those out. And then you can buy your single colors on there as well. So for the pattern that we're going to be doing on this wood grain table, we're going to use a silver base, and then we're going to spray accent colors of blue, brown, gold, and pearl. And you can find all of those on our website. We typically say for those accent color sprays to do 125 gram packet for a quart of alcohol. And you can put that in a spray bottle, keeping in mind that you only want to fill that spray bottle up 3/4 of the way, otherwise you're going to have issues.
And you'll be needing to add powder and alcohol after that to adjust it as desired.
Okay.
Because as you pump the bottle down, as you use like your gold or whatever, and you're 2/3 of the way through, it's going to become very diluted.
Okay.
Because it usually pumps straight out of the bottom, which it settles to the bottom, and most people have a tendency not to shake it a lot.
So all their color comes out first.
Yeah, and it's real concentrated at first, and then it starts getting real diluted.
Okay.
And it turns into something you want to be kind of artistic with if you're using that color for a long time. I mean, a one-time user, that'd be perfect what you said. But if you're in a shop like this, you'd be always kind of adding a little more powder, a little more alcohol, just kind of getting that ratio you want. And
Okay.
that's kind of, they kind of have to be a little bit artsy there and decide how concentrated they want.
Okay.
Obviously, if it's more diluted, you just have to spray a little more to get the same desired effect. If,
But then you can wash out your pattern if
wash out
it's
your
too
pattern,
diluted.
so
So
you just
he's
kinda
saying
wanna
that over time, you are going to want to adjust your powder and alcohol levels. Just as you're using it, the powder sinks to the bottom, and if you don't shake it up real good, then you could end up like expelling more powders. I think they can hear him when he was talking. So I'm just going to do it on Facebook. Anyway, you're going to be spraying out more color, and so as your bottle is getting down lower and lower, you just want to be adding more powder, adding more alcohol, and just getting your solution just right. And obviously you can spray out if you want a more concentrated, you can spray a couple more times, but if you just add a little bit more powder, it's going to work out overall. You don't want to wash out your pattern by having too much alcohol and not enough powder. So that's a pro tip. How's your guys' Tuesday? Are you excited? Are you excited to see these tables? We're super pumped. Everyone looks really tired after lunch too, though. That's what happens. Everybody eats and they're like, oh. So he just poured that whole family right into that bucket, the whole packet. Again, we're going to do that stick test in there just to see if we have enough powder. Anytime that you put powder or pigment into your bucket, you want to do a stick test after you get it all combined. And then that way, you know that when it starts to pull off of the edges, that it's not going to leave your edges bare. You've got enough pigment in there. And we'll show you how to do that stick test too. Let me see if I can get you closer without rolling up like crazy plastics.
looks like the most
And stuff.
we should sell these on Etsy.
Right? Put a little paint stick on the back.
Yeah.
She's taking that paddle and mixing that for an additional 3 minutes or so.
One for this.
This guy.
Start using your next one so we get it up.
Sorry, I'm like right in the way. I can't lift you up, but it'd be cool if you could see in that bucket. It's really pretty. Rachel's gonna get B shots so that we can show you guys in just a little while. And they are gonna take and mix an additional 3. Sorry, how much are we mixing for the second table? 2 gallons or 3?
Same.
Same.
Square footage.
Okay.
They're both approximately 32 square feet. Plus
Okay.
your edges.
Did you leave any aside to make the accent colors, or do you just spray on the whole thing?
Just spray.
Just spray.
But they are doing the, because you did more on this one because you're gonna be scraping a lot off. Are you doing?
More.
Are you still gonna be doing the same 3 gallons on the? Okay, perfect. So they're mixing up an additional 3 gallons, 1.5 of each of the. 1.5. See, he's over here talking trash. I'm supposed to be talking to you guys, and he's over here talking trash to me. What am I supposed to do? Trying to keep you guys on track. 1.5 gallons of your Nouveau of part A, and then 1.5 of part B. You always want to do your B first, and then your A. With Nouveau, it's they're very similar consistencies, so if you accidentally mix it up, it's not that big of a deal. But just make sure you're doing part A and part B. No, can I share it?
Just push that button at the top on the other. Exclusively, right?
Just showing you guys a little bit of this mixing here. Leah's mixing it without trying to add too many bubbles in it. She put that silver in there, and she is. Have you done the stick test yet?
No.
Okay.
No, I haven't got all that powder.
Okay. I want to show him that when we get there. So she's going to do the stick test after she gets that color fully combined in there. And then over here, they're mixing another gallon and a half of A, gallon and a half of B to equal 3 gallons for our second table. And Levi's such a rock star, he's just going to do one and then run over and do the other one. So. When I take this off of here, Rachel, will this like, oh, nope, there's the camera. Got it. No, sorry guys. Yeah, we could take it off of that thing, but I don't know, I mean, yeah, that's okay.
Well, I haven't bought any replacement batteries. But we constantly buy new drugs.
I don't know. Hey, Summer, it's really loud, but if you can hear me, we use alcohol as a cleaning agent. Typically, we don't reuse. Can we reuse these buckets, Leah? Typically, we don't reuse these buckets, correct?
I mean, if we don't reuse this first one, but if you can, if your product is fully mixed, the second day, your second bucket, you should be able to come and pull out all the hardened product and reuse it.
So she's saying that your A container, usually you can't reuse that because it's still sticky at the bottom from unmixed product. But your B container, the next day, sometimes you can come back through if it was completely combined, and you can go ahead and pull that out, and then you can reuse the bucket. See if I can get you any closer here. For the ground, to keep the mess off the ground, we do use a thick black plastic. She's going to do the stick test, so now she's scraping the sides and bottom. Silver is in there, and then she's going to mix it up a little bit, and then she's going to scrape it off, and then stick it in and pull it up and see if she can see the edges of that stick. And if she can, that means she needs powder. Maybe down just a little bit lower. Yeah.
Looks good to me.
Looks great.
Can't see the sides of the stick at all.
Just said she can't see the sides of the stick at all, so it's looking really good.
Just making sure to get all that unmixed product down inside.
Just making sure to get all on the sides. That black plastic that we get, it's just like a painter's drop cloth plastic. And we use like a metal foil tape, sorry. Oh, that guy says liners for the buckets are awesome. You can just peel them out and toss them. So that's a good idea. I know. Thanks for the tip, bro. And then we tape that plastic down, and then after it cures, so we won't try to clean up today. We're gonna clean up tomorrow. After it cures, we'll just pull all that epoxy plastic, and it comes right off. And that's how we kind of manage messes. When we pour out of our buckets, and you'll see, we stick our buckets under the table on that plastic so that we don't have to worry about drippage anywhere. We have everybody check their shoes and make sure that they're not dragging, tracking any epoxy on their shoes onto our regular floors, just in case, especially like in our showroom. We're pretty proud of that, so we don't want a bunch of epoxy everywhere. I hope that's answering your questions for you, Summer. And Leah said that stick test looks great, so they just... Are we switching buckets over there? So Dom is over here, and he is going to be, of course, I can't see anything because it's super low. He's taking some of his product and he's pouring it out into a separate bucket for his vein colors. And then he's going to be pouring, did we already take it into the second? Anyway.
This is the first bucket right now.
Oh, okay. So then we'll put that into a second bucket. How do I not point it? It's Rachel. So just this one. Is it the same?
Back here, and then you tighten it. It's this first.
Okay, so not this one.
Yeah.
And he's gonna go ahead, scrape sides and bottom again, just to double check right before he pours it into the next bucket.
class here, by the way? Any more? Fucking hate movies.
I wish I could mute this. How do I fucking mute
They
this?
probably are. That's okay.
Yeah.
That's why I make most of my
Leah's gonna go ahead and check that temperature and make sure that we're on track. Where are we at, Leah? 87. So we got a little bit to go. We are gonna be going to 100 degrees today. And the reason why we're doing 100 degrees is to keep it super thick on that table, so that when we put it on the table,
Sorry if your man doesn't touch your hip.
it doesn't just run completely off.
If your husband doesn't guarantee you a spot in heaven, Jesus won't let you either.
I have 3 dogs. That tiny little thing ain't gonna be enough for me.
I thought she would like it for Mercy.
Yeah, but she was like,
Besides, I knew him.
I got 3 dogs. I ain't feeling it that often.
Is it gonna be little?
Well, it's gonna be like,
Why?
one dog. Like a
Oh, my
dog
dog's.
size. You have a dog that's like,
I have a big puppy. His name is Ranger, and he's my favorite in the whole world.
You're probably gonna want
I try to get you kind of focused in here on what they got going on. I feel like I get one focused, and then it's my fault because I started moving stuff around.
How's that mixing, Leah?
Rachel's probably like, I had it perfect, and then you touched it.
You just mix that for that 3 minutes and then
And we're at 88 now. Still a little bit to go with that Nouveau. It does have a longer working time, which is phenomenal. But when we're trying to get it up to temp to 100 degrees, it takes just a minute. Keep in mind that when you're wanting your product to get up to temperature, the larger amount of product, the faster it's going to heat up, just as a rule. So if you're doing it in a 1 ounce cup, it's going to take a whole lot longer than if you're doing it in a 5-gallon bucket with 3 gallons of product.
he looks for
And if you see him past Miss Rachel, he is scraping out the sides and the bottom into the next container, just making sure that he's getting all of that first product that he poured that he couldn't get with that paddle mixed into that second pour. I like that he makes me the exception. That makes me happy. Yeah.
You're also like, oh, that's how I should do it. You take it.
Yeah. Don't judge me. All right. So he's pouring in his white base now for that white marble. And we have these containers that are pre-made for you. And one container will cover 2 gallons, or will like be enough for 2 gallons of epoxy. So we had 3, so we're going to do 1.5 containers of base coat. Do you want a popsicle stick, or are we good, Dom?
Yeah, you can grab a stick and scrape it out if you'd like.
Help me fix it.
I was like,
I almost cried yesterday. I was so sad. Just getting that fully combined in there. You're going to do that same stick test with this as you did with the last one. They're going to get it fully mixed in there. And anytime you're adding your base coat, you want to go ahead and stir while you're adding it just so that it doesn't completely settle to the bottom. That's a pro tip from me to you. Ask me how I know. Just kidding, don't. It was a mistake. Huh? Uh-oh. You used the one from the empty one. Down. Yeah? Did you just say lady nuts?
yeah. Kick in your lady nuts.
Kick in your lady nuts. Capiche? That's funny. You're the best. You got that protective cap on there? Facebook has a fun 30-second delay. So Instagram does not. Yeah.
Can you, do they read the comments?
The Facebook one? No, not unless there's like a question that's they feel like I can answer or that I need to answer that would be helpful for the rest of the group. Yeah. They go through and answer all the questions, yeah. Yep. the media department upstairs is working really hard to answer all of your questions and help out as much as they can. They are the reason all of this works. They're the reason we're allowed to do lives. They're the reason everything goes so seamlessly. So thank you, media department. We love you a lot. Like a lot and a lot and a lot. We're just checking temp on that.
81 on the white, 81 on the charcoal, 92 on the...
Perfect. So we're 92 on that silver, which is going to be for our wood grain, and 81 on our white and charcoal, which is going to be for our white marble. Who's excited about a white marble table? I'm pumped. With our chiseled edge on it.
Almost made it.
Showing pictures of his kids. We have a bunch of thumbs up coming up. Thanks, guys.
Probably tape two sticks together so you should get those veins out.
Probably a dirty pourer. Or, yeah.
White marble.
Yeah. Is he gonna get two like 5-gallon ones? Yeah. Do that now. And then maybe a large. I don't know how wide he wants those veins, or if he's gonna do it like the black marble table. You know what I'm saying?
Good idea. Now that I think about it, maybe just to get like a bucket and then a big sample and then pour the charcoal onto that big sample so it has like on the cure up and just hack up.
Yeah, I would. Yeah. Just pull everything off this table and pour it on the plastic. No. That's all right. That'll work. So when you're doing veins, it's really important to let it get up to temp for that. So we're doing a white marble with charcoal veins. We're going to let it get up to temp, and then we're going to pour it onto a sample board and let it cool to that surface of the sample board and start curing from there. Excuse me. That's going to allow us to work with that product for a long time and get the veins exactly the way that we want them. Just like we do in class when we pour it on the table, we want to do the same thing when we're doing countertops or large tables like this. How we doing over here? Leo, what's our temp now? 95. All right. Leo's sleepy. 95. 5 more degrees to go on that.
I want her to be a wild little crazy thing that scares guys.
83 on this guy.
And we're at 83 on the one that we're mixing still. Is it mixed completely?
Yeah.
Why is he still? Is he still mixing?
Yeah, I used to be my oldest daughter. She was tiny.
Okay.
Andrew says since she's like, like a dog, like a good dog.
If you guys have any questions on that Nouveau, go ahead and shout them out. We can try to answer them through the marketing department and me if they're easy. Just kidding. To contain that mess, he did,
You're at 99.
we reused the paddles.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah?
If you don't try to clean them, you can reuse them for a long time.
Okay. So I lied to you guys earlier when I said that we didn't reuse paddles. We do. I apologize. I'm learning too. So he's going to go ahead and pour this out on this wood grain table.
Now we let this hit 100 degrees too.
You let this hit 100 degrees, so it's going to be super thick.
Just roll the center out.
Take a lint-free roller, roll the center out. The only true lint-free roller
Yeah.
is foam.
Foam roller.
Thank you.
Usually lint-free rollers just mean a little less lint than a regular roller.
He said
You want a
usually
lint-free roller, use a foam roller.
lint-free rollers mean a little less lint. So if you want a true lint-free roller, use a foam roller. He's going to roll the middles and then push it out towards the side, just like he did that large table, and then go to the other side and do the same thing.
Not sure who that is. For the charcoal for your veins, I was thinking about
Up, gun, watch out.
I just did.
I was like, that sounds like the story of my life.
want to make sure it doesn't fall off.
Just the way I grew up the last 20 years.
Is there a reason why you're doing the sides of, do you know how when you did the big table, you did the whole top first and then the sides? Is there?
Just coming over. It's so rough, and
Okay.
I don't want to lose a lot that I don't need.
He said that just because it's already starting to roll over, he's going to go ahead and do those sides while he's over here so that he's not losing a lot.
Right there.
That this edge is pretty rough because it is a live edge.
Yeah.
Do you guys like our live edge? Our faux live edge? It's really fun if you joined in with us yesterday. We created this out of 2 pieces of 3/4 inch MDF.
I'll tell you guys something. Being sick, not eating for a few days, and then drinking a recover drink. Best dinner for a long time. That was an awesome drink.
You seem more lively.
Yeah.
That drink on an empty, 2 days of empty tummy. It was really good.
When he's rolling this out, he wants, we're making sure that we're using an even pressure
have to
across
go to a school
and
board
not
meeting
digging
tonight.
in. Anytime you slow down or stop, you're letting it sink a little bit. Just like we talked about before when we did that large casting table, the clear coat on that.
They're like, so-and-so says that they're going to tell my mom if I make them mad. I'm like,
This is our silver metallic powder
they won't call you.
that you can get on countertopepoxy.com. Levi's the PTO mom bully. That's what we're learning. Huh? Nothing.
I'm just that asshole that you fucking take your kids and you think that you can just half-ass it. You don't hear me.
He loves his
Not your
kids.
right to be around kids. It's your responsibility if you are going to be treated right. Don't.
Let's see if we can get you guys a little bit closer here. Alright, he's going back and forth and just pushing more towards those edges as opposed to just rolling it straight off the sides.
Yeah, it's like just up another 2x2 that they work. Good job.
I know it's looking beautiful. I'm so excited. Rolling those sides. And again, we do this so that when it starts to roll off the sides, it's going off evenly as opposed to it just pouring all off of one area and not getting covered on others. We did the same thing in our class. You would do the same thing on countertops. This is a pretty universal rule. It's so satisfying to watch it drip off.
Rachel only has to edit for 42 hours to make this edge roll look like I wasn't struggling.
Rachel, I have 2 minutes left. You want me to just restart it when it's done?
Yeah.
Okay.
90 minutes.
Right?
It's 90.
How much is it?
It's always been this way.
Might not be the smartest way, but
And it's only on
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
Facebook will let you do anything. That's not true. Facebook won't let you have music.
Yeah, that's
Instagram won't either.
Really?
yeah.
Down or shut it down.
You know what will? TikTok. Just saying.
I want to do TikTok too.
Me too. Let's do TikTok.
I did too.
It's like a new up and coming out. Do like 30
Can I
second
just-
videos essentially.
Can I just be a resin artist as opposed to a person now?
He didn't hear that.
I know.
He has selective hearing. It's Tumblr artists. It is deselected category.
Levi, can I be a resin artist as opposed to a Tumblr girl now?
Yeah, you're actually graduating to a
Thank
way
you.
higher school.
Graduating. Thank you. I have nothing against Tumblr girls. I love my Tumblr girls. But I like resin art too.
I don't know what's happening, but that's a terrible idea.
The what?
He would like tripped over down this thing.
Oh.
And he just looks and he's like, I don't know what's happening, but that was a terrible idea.
Well,
Right now?
It's not evenly flowing. Is that just because it's different angles?
And it's hot and cooling down.
okay,
What's
Miss
another way
Rachel,
we can level something, guys?
shared a story.
Yeah.
torch the edge, right?
Yeah, but you torch the top and it's over.
Okay.
You're the best. Hey guys, welcome back to our Instagram live. We're just keeping going with this wood grain table that we got going. We have a silver base down. Does he have fire? Yep, he's gonna torch that now just to get any bubbles out. This is a do not do this at home.
Don't ever do this, ever.
We'll repeat that. Just don't do this at home
Unless you live in your mom's basement, do not do this.
unless you pay the homeowner's insurance and don't care about lighting your house on fire. You can take just a regular torch and go across your table.
This product is not temperature resistant. I've been told.
Yeah.
You know how our metallics are flammable outside of epoxy? Do you think they handle flame different? Do you know what I mean? Than our base colors? Or is it all the same once it's under epoxy?
That's pretty awesome. Now that'll keep running, and now the edges this almost don't matter, and not that they don't matter, but we're going to be spraying them to make like a bark pattern after we finish our top.
Oh, gray slate.
Now where's our accents? Is it
Bit
this
charcoal.
end right there?
Right there on the sprays.
Yeah, this is like charcoal.
I think I'm gonna do the wood grain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's gonna go a lot better. Now he's gonna go ahead and spray some accent sprays on there. He's starting with our gold.
Oh, but we're cutting it apart.
Are we cutting this one apart?
Or no, we're keeping this guy, right?
Leah might cry.
Not cutting that.
Okay, keeping this one.
I'm like, I really like
This wood grain is different than the one that we were doing earlier, and we're going to show you how. The one that we did earlier was with that wall epoxy. This one is going to be with our Art Resin Nouveau. You can also use Countertop Epoxy for this, or Black Label. That Nouveau does have a longer working time. So our 30 to 45 minutes goes to about an hour, hour and a half, depending on heat. Anytime you add heat, you're cutting your working time. So he did just heat this, so he is cutting his working time. You won't have quite as long, but
big shit. Long.
I know, he's like, should I do that? I was like, yeah. Why not?
It will though. When would you say it stops falling off the edges?
When it stops falling off, actually, it does stop. Yeah, temperature dependent, volume. There's so many variables there. It'd be dishonest for me to try to say time.
As it starts to cure up a little bit, it'll stop falling off the edges. Keep an eye on it on your edges when you're pouring your countertops. You want to go ahead and scrape those edges, just so that you don't have a lot of drips. And you can kind of keep an eye on it and see as time goes on if there's a little bit of drippage, just scrape again, and it'll help you keep those edges really clean.
Yeah, and that's why also we let this get hotter. But it's at 90 to 100, that would
Again, because we did lead this.
Trying to find where I want knots at.
Hello. Put some knots in there, and he's going to take alcohol and just barely drip them on. Let's see if I can get you a little closer. So he's taking it and dripping that alcohol on to create knots in his wood grain. Strategically placing them so that they're not all together, so that he can kind of work around them so that it looks the most natural. You can put as little or as many knots in there as you want, whatever you think looks the most natural. Are you guys ready for the magic?
Oh, I am. I don't know.
Are you ready for the magic, Levi?
I'm like concerned. I don't like being watched.
Uh-oh. That's such a lie. He does this for classes with like 97 people. So taking that notch tool, and he's going to drag it down.
I'm like my little boy when he was filming upstairs doing that floor he did. He was like, his sister was like, "Hey, is something okay that they're filming you?" And he's like, "Yeah, this is for work."
Aww. I love him.
He was
I haven't met him yet.
I know, me neither, but I love him.
just like,
So he's just scraping that color in. When you're doing grain, your goal is to just get those colors completely worked in, so that as you sand, as you work it more, it just gets really integrated into your base color. It gets really buried. So then tomorrow when we sand it down, it's really going to uncover a lot of that grain. He's going around the knots, just making sure that that wood grain looks the most natural to it. It's because you have the flu. Yeah, the more you work it in, the more grain look you're going to get for that.
Yeah, you really want to work with it to make it look good.
He said you really want to work it to make sure that it looks good and looks super natural.
And we're probably about 93 on both of those, I think.
So it doesn't matter if you're going from the top to the bottom?
Are you asking?
Not at all.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, when I did mine, I was like worried about that.
You're basically just running this as much as you can.
Okay.
And you've done this a few times.
Couple, yeah, not a ton, like 4 times, I think, 5 times.
That you go across it 5 times?
This was just my attempt
Oh,
one day.
he's
I
done
was trying to
this
figure out how else to make a wood grain pattern with a countertop epoxy, and that's kind of what I came up with. So I thought it turned out cool. So this is just my own.
What's your guys' opinion on this wood grain? Do you guys like this technique? Do you want to see more styles like this where we're coming up with new techniques for you? What kind of projects do you guys want to see next? Really communicate with us here, and we can try to get all of these projects lined up so that we're helping you guys as much as possible. That's our goal with our company, is to help and serve you. So.
That was awesome.
Hey,
My
thanks.
favorite conference you said.
Aww. All day?
Yeah.
Oh man,
That's like
you gotta listen closer, Brad. I'm just kidding.
Carrie's really good at communicating on these things.
For real.
I'm like,
Oh, it's because I never stop talking.
I hate people that think they can sell something to somebody but they won't serve the people.
Yeah. He said that he hates it when people just try to sell you something and not serve you. We really, as a company, that's something that we work. Yeah, we work on really trying to solve those problems that you guys have and be the most effective that we can for you.
Yeah,
So.
do you guys understand what I'm doing here? Since I didn't explain it because I'm sick. Every time I scrape a line through this that I sprayed, I'm dragging some of that color down into the surface. Then I'm going to spray another color on, and I'm going to scrape along and follow the same lines and drag them under the surface. So right now you have silver with a little bit of gold dragged down under the surface. Even though you see a lot of gold on top, we're going to sand through all that gold. What our goal is you'll have all your different colors of wood grain you want to see all pulled down under the surface with this tool sprayed, so that when we sand it off, you see silver with a really crisp, sharp wood grain, like the table you can see down there. So, so you don't have to be afraid just because you saw a lot of gold on this table, because once you sand it off, you're going to see about 10% of what you see, but it'll be really crisp little sharp veins. So.
He's saying that with that wood grain, what you're really trying to do is you're trying to take, I guess I'll stay over here for Instagram too, in case you didn't hear him, but I'm sure that you did, but what you're trying to do when you're working that in is you're trying to incorporate that color into your base. So every time you scrape, you're just moving that gold in there, and then now we're going to spray a different accent color, and we're going to scrape and get that that blue underneath that top layer, and then tomorrow when we sand it, it's going to uncover all that and be just beautiful.
But should we, that was at 97, should we pour it out? Yeah.
He's going to go ahead and put that base for the white marble. Just because that is at 97 degrees, so we're shooting for around between 95 and 100, so we're going to go ahead and pour that out. I'm going to keep this on that wood grain just because he is going to drag that through again. But it's going to be the same as this tabletop, so we're going to pour out that white and then we're going to roll it out all over the top and along the edges, making sure that with that chiseled edge that we get epoxy in all of those grooves. We sand it with a 400 grit, and then we sand it with an 800 grit. Do we go any higher than 800 on wood grain?
Wherever they want it, you can even bring it right back to a polish.
Okay,
To
so you can
5,000.
bring it right back up to a polish at 5,000. You're just going to take your grits and you're going to double them. So if you start with 400, then you're going to go to 8, and then you're going to go to 15, and then you're going to go to 3,000, and then you're going to go to 5,000. You can get those higher grits at a paint store or an automotive store. He's going to take that blue and just work that right back up again. I like that steel blue. What does he spray on before? He's spraying on isopropyl alcohol mixed with our metallic powders. You can get those metallic powders on our website, countertopepoxy.com. You're going to take a 25-gram packet and you're going to mix it with either 91 or 99% isopropyl alcohol. 99 is preferred. If you can't find it, 91 is okay. Yeah, you can absolutely pour a clear coat instead of sanding all the way to a polish. Absolutely. We would recommend sanding that, like tomorrow we're going to sand it, and that's just going to uncover a lot of those grains. And then from there, instead of sanding it up to a polish, you can absolutely pour another clear coat on there if you really want that glossy finish.
No, I will keep trying to tell you that substitution on which you can do.
It's like a drip though, not really like a spray. Yeah. Anytime you get like too much, you know what I mean? Like it'll spread out, Jamie. Yeah. Yeah, it's a really awesome way to get that effect. Mr. Levi is the originator of this. And we're bringing sexy back with this. We're bringing wood grain back. See my song to you guys? You're welcome. I did. Like, but to the tune of Justin Timberlake.
I'm bringing wood back.
Yeah, I'm bringing wood back. Nice. I think it'd be weird if I sang that though, Levi.
That would.
Yeah.
Already started.
It would be awesome to one day rig a camera from above the table for an overshot video. Rachel does get beef with this, and so when we do our videos for these, it is a little bit more of a comprehensive view, so that you can kind of see what's going on. I know it does look really shiny. Let's try to move to a different angle, and maybe we can get. Rachel, can I come like kind of where you are? Maybe we can get a less glossy view. That's still not in Levi's way. Sorry. Kind of. Oh, I love that. I'm all excited now. That's cute. They're going to spray, is it called Caribbean over, yeah, on countertop? He's spraying Caribbean over the top now. First we used gold and then we used blue, and then now we're using Caribbean. Would the spray metallic paint make the effect? Spray paint, is that what you're talking about? We do not ever use spray paint in our product. It doesn't make it food safe. It's not a good idea to put that on your stuff. Because then you're going to be using your table or your countertop or whatever, and it's not food safe. Anything that you put on there, you're just compromising the health of your family. It's not a good idea. We just don't recommend it. I'm really digging this Caribbean color. It looks amazing. They asked how the conference table room looks today. We did put a coat on that today, and it looks awesome. Super, super good. He's just gonna scrape that back through just like we were doing before. And they are just making sure that they're working that white all the way into all the grooves on that side table. And just make sure with that roller that we're not stopping and letting it sink so that it doesn't create divots. You can take that roller and roll it right on the side. That way she can start stipling that in. Sorry, will you go? She can take that roller and roll it right on the side, and then then Betty can start stipling it in. That way you're not trying to push a bunch of extra product off the side because you're going to lose it all. There you go. I'm micromanaging and I'm sorry.
Did you want to put any pearl on it, Levi? Any pearl?
Only if you think we need it.
I like it.
Hey, welcome. I'm in love with the conference room table. Wait till you guys see the desk that we did for in there. I love it.
Hey, Dom. Oh, never mind. You're helping over there. That's good.
They did pour.
Yeah.
Did we pour the charcoal out on a sample board? Yeah. Okay, perfect. So they did pour that charcoal out for the veining on that white marble table out onto a sample board, and that's just allowing it to cure at an ambient temperature of the room as opposed to flash curing in that bucket. Anytime you leave epoxy in a large amount, it just heats up really fast and then it will flash cure in your bucket and it's completely unusable. So if you lay it out on a surface and let it start slow curing from there because it cools to the temp of the surface, then you can work it for a lot longer. And that will help us, again, just like we did with the sample boards, to create the veins on that table.
Silver. You added gold, you added turquoise, blue. We have already, or we're gonna do this?
That's that like green color on top.
So that's only 2 colors on top of it.
Gold, Caribbean, and then blue. Too. Like a turtle.
Thanks, Jamie. I got 2 into my.
Oh no.
Because I knew that was my last time.
Somebody asked us earlier how we contain the mess. We do this by isopropyl alcohol, and we make sure that Rachel doesn't stick her feet and stuff. But if you can clean that up with isopropyl alcohol and a paper towel.
Watch your feet, guys. Doing the other thing. Just don't want you
We're gonna have everybody check their feet before they walk onto our showroom today, just in case.
And if you got new carpet.
We bought new carpet.
Yep. The other one was so nasty.
See, we do have a carpet that's laid down that's just for wiping your feet on. We'll spray alcohol on it. You can wipe your feet on that. So his sides look like my sides. Where the board is very kind of here.
Yeah, and that's probably what he'll do with his.
That's great. I wanted to, but. So Levi, do you remember on your old wood grains how you would get it to roll off the side? Why is that not doing that? Is it not doing it because we let it set up to 100 and it was just too big?
Let it set nice and I love that. Now I'm going to torch it a little bit in a minute, but not like I did with a fire or anything. Torch it, and it'll flow a little bit more from warming it up, but it shouldn't move a ton.
Okay. So that's kind of what happened with mine, was where it didn't really roll off the sides, and I was kind of worried about that because
Which is good because you don't need it to. It
Yeah.
holds your pattern, and we already have the edge is going to be a bark pattern. I don't
Okay.
really think people view what this is until you can make it crisp.
that line on it. Can I put one on mine?
Oh yeah, please.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, start torching it at least. And that is white. You're going to want to torch it pretty lightly and carefully because you can burn it. And you'll have to be very careful on your edges with white because it'll, especially with a chiseled edge.
I'm going to move you a little bit. Are we getting bored of looking at the same exact thing? So just kind of looking over there at our white marble table. They do have that base laid down. They're going to go ahead and torch it just to pop all those bubbles and get it to kind of self-level. But being very, very careful with white because it does burn very easily. And then Levi's taking a torch and going through here. He's just popping bubbles and he's heating it up a little bit to kind of blur those lines and just make everything look super natural.
Yep, that's the camera. Try to get in the reflection of these bubbles. You see the reflection?
Fit in there nicely, you know, so you
Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
Good for you.
Just running camera stuff. Yeah. Does it sound okay up there? Yeah.
You're doing really good.
Prickly and stuff.
Like
it was
mine
this
is?
morning.
Oh, good.
I
Okay.
don't know why. it does
I think every time like your hoodie
Maybe
moves
it's
or
just a
anything,
hoodie. Maybe
we'll
that
just
means
kind
I
of keep
don't
that
have
view. I mean, we've got so many torches going here. I'm not sure who to focus on, but if you guys want to join us for a class, we do beginner and advanced classes every single month. And if you want to go ahead and sign up for those, they are under countertopepoxy.com under classes. Our beginner and advanced classes fill up really quick, so get your spot today. Go ahead and get on there and get signed up. This class that we're doing now is a samples class. We do require that you have your beginner class completed before you come to a samples class. Then you have a little bit more one-on-one time. We do, it seems to be smaller groups, which has been really great, and we can help you perfect those patterns a little bit more. I'm so excited. Yeah, I love the chiseled edge on it, and I've only seen the finished product of that black one, so I haven't seen like do a really large marble before. So I'm super excited. You guys and me are going to be watching this for the first time. Are you excited?
How do you guys want to treat our piece? It's your sample over there. We're cutting that whole thing up for you guys, so.
They're kind of making a plan for that white marble right now.
Unless one guy wants to auction the others out, take it home.
I want to.
I would take it home and use this top table and fill my whole living room.
What's that?
I said I'd just take it, put it in my house and fill my whole living room.
It'd be perfect for my kitchen, just saying.
Our kitchen is made for a table.
It would fit in my kitchen.
I need to just make my own table because mine.
That's what I keep
that
saying.
frame is like
That's what I
too
keep
big.
saying. I want to re-pour my table, I think, or just make a whole new table.
Because you saw how big mine is. If mine was like 6 inches smaller in both directions, like it would fit so much better in that area.
Yeah.
Because I like those big ones.
All right, so we're gonna move over to this white marble table. This guy is settling now, looking amazing.
What you're gonna run
He just
into
works
here
that through
is
with that wood grain.
and you don't want to be doing a pattern that looks like a fucking windshield wiper wiped all over.
He said, "Don't do a fucking windshield wiper,
So
y'all."
easy to have somebody being like, shh.
So what's
Be thoughtful as
a
in,
good composition then for
you
taking
would want to think of how your vein should
I'm gonna
look,
back you up just a little bit so the Instagram can see too.
where you want to go, and then think of body position to get there. So many people
He said,
that
think
go
about
on
where you want to go
vacation,
and think about your
get off
body
the edge,
position to get there so that you're not having windshield wipers.
reach, and they don't do it. So be very thoughtful as to how you're going to want to do this.
We taped a couple sticks together to be able to reach clear across that table.
There's nothing like round and a piece of white marble. You could have a jagged cut where it got cut close to or something.
Right over there.
I probably would.
Because I can reach that.
I'd probably run a big fat one through here, a little smaller one across, like more
So
towards
that's what I was
the
going
edge.
to do with that. I was going to pour that through, like actually pour it in so it makes a big wide one. And come up with this.
Maybe if you dirty poured it,
Just it wouldn't flood my bucket.
just making that plan. They're deciding how they're gonna do their. No. No. Sorry. Can I have a vote? No.
I probably wouldn't do a dirty pour on white marble without 90% or 95% white, 5%.
Yeah, because it would look so dark.
Yeah,
But could you pour it across like he did that black marble table and then torch it?
that's just my own
Like half of my vision was just like,
thought. A little bit does a long way.
I'm dying.
That is just a base coat. That's our white base coat. And we did the edge coat on the edges, and
So
then
flip your stick over into it, because you want your whole stick to be
Both sides?
yeah.
So like that.
Yeah, and then flip it back up onto it. So like
And then like that. And let it just run down.
Levi's struggling a little bit.
I think you're doing good.
The fuck are you?
I think you're doing good. Now go
Lower.
lower down.
Closer. Yeah.
Think about where your hands are.
Keep your tip down.
Feels good, doesn't it? Now watch your windshield wiper.
Oh man, I want to help you so bad. I'm struggling.
Do it.
Keep your tip up.
And that's a windshield wiper
Tips up.
already. Yep. And the only place you could reach in, you're dripping all over, so you're going to track epoxy to run all over there. And then you're going to have to take your shoes off.
So we're just, it's really difficult as instructors to for us to just kind of let them figure it out. But he's letting him make,
Half your product go off there. What I would do is I'd probably move to that.
he's letting him make those mistakes and then teaching him how to maybe not make that mistake again as he's doing his next pour.
Real quick, and then pull it straight out and let it go drag.
I'm gonna bring you guys around to the other side so that you can see a little better. We'll just try to get in the mix. Maybe we need to. Okay. Excuse me, bucket. Whoop. If you guys haven't checked out our workshop before, it's pretty awesome. Again, you can come visit us, countertopepoxy.com, and get signed up for those classes.
Yep, and just go right
So.
straight across the top of it. Try to keep your exact pattern. Fast. Remember, you're trying to keep some of that all right where you started the first batch.
There you go.
Batch.
Lower.
What did I say, bitch? I'm sorry, guys.
No, I thought you said bad.
That's good. Slow down. Now slow down. Stick is kind of starting to run out. No, that actually is a little really good. No, you still got plenty. What's it?
Do you want gloves? So do you see how he's tapping it down? Sometimes when you're losing color off your stick, and I said this yesterday and today, but as you're losing, you can kind of tap it down and deposit that color again. So Levi's just coming through and finishing up that pattern all the way across. And now we're going to torch it. And what's going to happen is it's going to allow it to sink in self, and then it's going to look super natural.
Yeah, almost.
Hey, you're doing great. I know it's... What you got going on there? Do you want to move your sample board to the area that you want to be in so that you're not dragging it all the way across? Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
Yeah. I'm struggling. I'm sorry. Dave B was like, you still want to take over? Like, no. Everybody has to learn. But it is tricky. You know that you can help somebody.
Get it on the stick. Keep turning the stick until it gets a bit.
Oh, sweet.
Prior and dripping after, you got to like just manage that. Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah. Keep really straight on your piece.
And down. There you go.
Lower.
Move fast.
No spur. Yeah. Lower.
Hell yeah.
No windshield wiper.
Lower. On the tip. I know. I'm struggling. It looks amazing, though.
I don't think a doctor would authorize activities that you're talking about.
Just the tip. Lower. No. It's not for the faint of heart. That looks amazing. Look at you.
Remember your edges. So right here, you got enough on there. Can I do a little vein just to kind of show you how I usually do this? So, where do you want?
Remember that when you let your consistency sit up like this, it's going to be so much easier to do these dirty pores off there. Okay, wait.
Then I'm going to slap with it. See how it got that matches the top? You see that?
You see how you can to adjust that line? You can get all the way across.
I
Yeah.
want to that edge because it's
Beautiful.
up. You see a perfect pattern on the surface and nothing on the edge. So I'd say that's enough of the big veins. That's great. The sample but
Move you back a little bit. We're going to do some of the thinner veins now.
you my accents now and leave some for later.
Just going to go ahead and accent that with chiseled and gold.
Already grabbed
I'm on it like Blue Bonnet today.
Who all wants to do it? If a couple of you guys want to practice, remember, you're going to get hopefully this will.
This is the kind of hands-on experience that we're talking about.
So on a kitchen, in a normal house, this would be a very large piece.
So just some little veins.
The real crisp ones, just like we did on our white marble. Do you guys remember your white marble? You guys want to be here?
They're about to impress me right now. I'm so excited. I said they're about to impress me right now. I'm so excited. Yesterday we did we did white marble and stone samples. Excuse my bumpiness here. Trying to get in a spot where we can see.
Not necessarily the best sample to go exactly off of, but just to be thoughtful that you're not totally blowing out.
So he brought out a sample for them to kind of look at, just to see, and I'll try to take you to it. Oh, sorry. Just to kind of see as like a guide. He said it's, it's not Bible, but it is a guide that you kind of want to go for, just so that when you do.
Try it across and down the other, and if you're moving too slow, you're fucking everybody else's pieces. So if you're squiggling, move quicker. You should be really low and steady across the piece, so it's dripping off, and you should be able to adjust that based
Betty, I'm in love with you right now.
Yeah.
And just pick a corner to let it run off of. Yeah, totally. You see? I have more in my car too. If you need.
Because it's super easy to actually wait. You have to be more patient, but then you can really back your corners. If it's really flowing, a piece this big is really difficult.
Just remember to run it off the corner of your piece as opposed to the.
See that? See that? Now come back. You know what? That's good job. You were a little bit faster there.
Let me show you Instagram. I just said it's like watching Urkel smoke crack. But your tip though, remember to run it off of one edge.
The goal is to replicate a few little iron deposits that are rusting out. We are never going to have gold white marble. And the reason I say this is customers that want white marble, you show up with a really beautiful one with gold, but it's not white marble, you don't get the job. We try to show you this because we see it purchased all the time. And we want you guys to know what the average customer would pay. Now see up. And remember too, you can't just be swinging it around like that. Like, be kind of thoughtful. Here, no, you're gonna do this more. I want you to do a bunch of this. So you could even drop this down at an angle like this. See, I'm not panicking at all. I made one little fuck up there, right? So. Go.
Resin is really controllable if you're controlling your temperature, being patient, waiting till it's thicker to set up, and then you can really do exactly what you want to do. And take your time and be really thoughtful about it. It's just, it all depends on temperature and cure time. But especially with the resin that we're working with today, you have more cure time.
Watch this edge. Guys, I'm going to try to come down my edge. So that I get coverage on my edge. I'm going to let it start dripping off.
Do you remember yesterday we were talking about you can pull in place? That's what he's doing right there. And then he's going to come back over and he's just going to create more veins. And what you're trying to do is create fractures in the rock. You want it to look super natural. Anytime you do any curves, any U-turns, anything like that, it doesn't look natural. You really want to make sure that you're using those motions in order to get as natural as possible. Do it with your arm and not your wrist. Yep. Beautiful. Just watch your curvies.
There's a good time on the clock right there.
Oh, sorry, I probably can't say that on there. Yes, absolutely. They want to see what's going on the other side. Roughly, Dave, the cure time is depending on heat, that you got it out of the bucket, depending on your starting temperature. But roughly with Nouveau, I mean, perfect would be like an hour to an hour and a half. Sorry. They want to see from this side.
Or, no, pull it before you tape it.
We're just doing some tape and drape. I'll try to show you from this side, but it's a little crowded.
Tape it, because it's going to be stuck in all that epoxy. So we don't really even need to worry about it.
I wish I could get really close for you. We'll do a zoom by later.
That was perfect.
Would you do more gold?
You'll get better and better, because if you're in a customer's kitchen, you really don't have the room to be like going over here and thinking about it going back. You're going to be really detailed watching, keeping it right on the edge all the time.
They did spray their accent colors. It's going to be gold and charcoal. And again, this white marble countertop kit you can find on our website, countertopepoxy.com, and that does come in the white marble kit. That will come with an edge coat, a base coat, your 2 accent colors, and then your 2 gallons of epoxy. That kit is the way to go if you're doing.
White marble.
Yeah, me too.
You're going to see a couple speckles and some white marble just from the wire deposit, but you're never going to see
that golden charcoal, you do want to do about 5% gold and about 10% charcoal on that.
I just didn't know
Spraying
you were
alcohol
right
to dissipate that
Shoot over your back.
just a little bit. I love the colors, yeah. Mhm. I know, right? Yep. I know, as soon as he put the, I always want to call it Atlantis, but I don't, or that's not it. Caribbean on there. It's like, yes, yes, yes. I don't have Google Translate. I'm really sorry, Danny. I want to answer your question. I just don't know what it is. I need to learn German today.
Is that German?
I hope so. What is the base? Wood. Our base is MDF.
3/4 inch double stacked.
That one's not double stacked. That one has a side on it, remember?
Oh yeah, that one just
So-
has the false edge.
Yeah, so
Sorry,
it has
I'll
a,
leave that alone.
no worries. So our base on this one is a 3/4 inch MDF, and then we took strips of MDF and created a false edge on that. So it looks like an 1.5 inch MDF double stacked, but it really is only the 3/4. Then on that siding, we use plaster of Paris and gypsum, and we mix that together, a 50-50 mix with some water to the consistency of super thick peanut butter. And then we applied that to the table, let that dry for 24 hours, prime coated it, and then went ahead and poured epoxy on it.
Now watch out, Carol. You're walking around with your sticks waving them. It's like magic chunks and peanuts. It's everywhere, but.
Hello, Niagara Falls.
Well, I almost set this on that table, so.
I one time
Oh.
set keys. I didn't let drop it, but I started setting my keys on. I just did it myself, and now, how did I pour it and then almost set something in it? And I used to always keep my phone in my shirt pocket when I leaned forward.
Yeah.
To the floor up, and it goes, how did they-
Yeah, so that process will give you that chiseled edge look that looks like broken granite or, you know, rocks. And then we did a live edge on this wood grain table that I'll show you right here. And the live edge is going to make it look more like a wood slab. That class is rocking the veins today. We did a pretty extensive vein sesh yesterday where we taught them all on how to do those really natural looking veins, and they're killing it. They're rocking it. Yeah.
I think it looks good what you guys are doing, guys. Now, one thing you'll notice on a lot of white marble slabs, there'll be a lot of random veining, and then there'll be like 8 veins all kind of pretty close, really straight, and then maybe some at another diagonal of that, like 4 or 5 all super straight. And I don't know if that's the way it settled and broke. Like, I don't know, but
He's saying that
you can get some really straight veins.
typically on a piece of white marble, you're going to see a lot of random veining. And then sometimes you'll see 8 veins that are really straight, just kind of, not necessarily side by side, but like a little bit at an angle to each other. And then maybe at like a little more of a drastic angle, you would see like 5 more, just trying to get those super straight ones. Yeah, like micro, the super thin veins. We do not offer virtual classes. We do these Facebook Lives for all of our classes, Instagram Lives for all of our classes. So you can kind of keep up there, or you can come and visit us and take a class in Grand Junction, Colorado. Take a trip. Christy, we would love to see you. Get on a plane. Come take our February class. We hold one every single month, beginner and advanced. 2 days beginner, 2 days advanced. And we'll teach you everything we know about countertops, wall, floor epoxy.
And we'll drive you around.
And we also offer rides from the hotel.
Thought I saw a drip, but I didn't feel a drip.
Do you think you're gonna get that skin texture just on clear? Do you think it has to be on juicy? Because that's what I want on a big circle at
The texture, I'm sorry.
cells right here with all of his flurry pull. Do you think the juicy really plays into it, or do you think we can
I think you need to mess with it more because you're going to see the difference between juicy and metallics are
I want
huge.
it on clear and I want to pull juicy over?
Then do it. Yeah. No, you're fine.
Get that
Yeah. It does that, yeah. I'm like, then do it with juicy, but yeah, exactly. It will get that with juicy. Yes, come visit us.
I was trying to reach
I know.
You know what? I'm very glad to see you guys making that too. The more mess we make here, the less you should make in a customer's house. So, you guys feel like?
Levi's the best.
Does anybody feel like you've gained some value here this week?
Oh, yeah.
He just asked if anybody feels like they've gained value here this week, and they said absolutely not. I'm just kidding. They all said yes. Absolutely, they did. These classes are invaluable. If you're going to be doing any projects at home, you really, really need to come and see us. We do have great food. That's absolutely true. The best restaurants ever. Warehouse 2565 is our favorite place to go. No. So table, like the countertop epoxy is our countertop, and then we do have a different flooring epoxy that just, it works differently. It's thinner. It's just a different product.
Basically, I think you're way out on colors. And then secondary, I've never seen cappuccino that doesn't have some running to it. So I probably would cross brush everything after I sprayed the correct colors.
Like with the trowel, the death trowel, or just with the chip?
No, like a chip brush. Yeah, you can cross brush anything.
Thank you so much. She said, from my own experience, it's worth the trip. They put on, they put on an awesome training with lots of hands-on learning. Absolutely. In all of our classes, you're able to do sample boards. You can take them home with you. And we go through our most basic, most popular samples, which is going to be white marble, soapstone, black marble, copper patina, and then typically we do one or two others. And then there is always like big projects that we do, whether it's going to somebody's house or doing some projects here. We've been remodeling our front area, and so we've been focusing a lot of our advanced classes on that so that you guys can help us. If you want to be part of that, come and see us for our classes. February and March, we'll be doing some more work in there. Super excited about it.
Follow the Diamond Coat installer group in case you have questions and stuff. Yeah, I think it's really important because you can get a lot of answers on there.
Levi's, he's a little rough today. It's been a really long week. He's got the flu. He's got influenza A. So he's on tons of medication, and he's rocking through it. We don't do any small kits. What we do is we offer 2-quart, part A, part B, and then you can buy your colors separate, and those are what you can practice with before you decide to do a large countertop. Or you can spend that money, Dave. You can come see us. We're going to teach you everything. You're going to be able to practice with our epoxy, and then by the time you go home, you're going to feel really confident in doing your own. Just saying. And you're also going to get that money back from paying for our classes. So it's a little win-win-win-win-win. I keep saying this, guys. These classes are where it's at, though.
Now, really spray heavier now. Do you see that?
Dave, you can check out all of our products on countertopepoxy.com and kind of look through there and see what's going to work best for you. So he's saying as opposed to a torch, you can spray alcohol over the top to pop bubbles, and it just keeps your temperature down. I love those colors. It's my favorite. He's done a few.
Sure, when he first started.
Yeah, he does these. He's like the best at these. It's phenomenal. I'm in the UK. Dave! How long do I have to... Of my face?
See how it is gloss right there?
I don't know.
Or I'll let you take one of my face. And I'll just teach you about to.
Okay. We do both of our faces.
Girl like coming up out of water. So our eyes will be closed and everything, and we'll just be like coming up out of it.
Yeah. Okay. I'll do it. You should book yourself a trip over. Dave, we have phenomenal hotels, food, nightlife, it's decent. It's all right.
Great people.
Great people. Excellent instructors. Levi's incredible teacher. It's going to be worth your trip, Dave.
Is there somebody on the fence?
He's in the UK, so he said he might just book himself a trip over.
Right on. We're in the UK.
Bars. We got a couple, you know. All right. There's a couple of our favorite places to go. Typically we'll eat lunch and then recommend, he's in Manchester, recommend Warehouse 2565 if you're looking for some nightlife. They're an awesome, awesome company. restaurant, bar, music venue. Manchester United.
How many of us do you think it would take? What's that best for her? So
That?
yeah.
And we'll get shipping.
Any questions on that white marble? I'll bring it in a little closer now that they're not flinging sticks around with epoxy. I'll try not to get this super sticky. Using that alcohol will help kind of blur those veins a little bit also and help them to look a little bit more natural. Look at that chiseled edge on there. I'm in love. Ooh. I'm in love. Facebook, you're getting kind of the zoomed out view. I'm sorry. What else are we doing? Oh my gosh, I gotta go. I'm going to pass you guys off to Miss Rachel here. She can finish up the class for you today. I appreciate you hanging out with me, and we'll see you guys for the next class.
Look at the kids. Hey, Levi, what else are we doing today?
Nothing.
Nothing? This is it? Do you want to say goodbye? You can just hold it. You don't have to put it on.
Sorry guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you found some value today. Watch all our classes if you want to live. Sure if you want. And hope I see some of you guys out here for classes. Sorry I was so sick and lame this class. I'm very not often sick, so have a badass day. Try to have that to somebody other than yourself. Bye.